What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Hot Action Fishing and Fab. My name's Curtis, and this is my channel. Uh, Soon there's gonna be a mold right here. I need to finish up the pulling platform. Like I said, or like you guys seen in the last video, I welded up the pulling platform, the aluminum structure for it, and I got to build the fiberglass top for it. The fiberglass top, that's obviously what I'm gonna stand on. So this is the only halfway decent piece of wood I have laying around the house. It's nice and straight. It's 3/4 inch marine plywood. It's what I used on another boat for transom material. I still got it laying around. I've been using it as a table, so it's kind of like nasty now from all the resin and drips and all that stuff on it. So I'm just gonna sand it down, get it pretty smooth as best I can, and then I'm gonna make a little mold out of it. So yeah, so I'm like I said, before I get started, I'm gonna sand the heck out of this board. And alright, you guys just watched me sand the living heck out of this board. It's not perfect by no means. It's just just sand it down a little bit. I'm gonna take this super polyfill that I used in the transom fairing video, and I'm gonna fair out this board. All I'm gonna do is just plop some of this stuff onto the board, get some MEK mixed into it, and just kind of spread it all out and smooth it out and make this board look, fill all the voids, all the cracks, so we can make it a little bit smoother when it comes to making our molds. So, yep, here we go. And alright, that's what it looks like. I just used that super polyfill and put it on there super thick. Yeah, after it cures, I'll come back and sand it all off and then show you the next step. Alright, you can see behind me, here's that piece of wood that I put all that fairing compound on, and it's been a few days. It's been rainy and nasty and the whole 9 yards and working outside. Took a long time for it to cure, and it's finally cured good enough to where I could sand on it. I tried sanding on it a couple days ago, right after I got done, letting it kick off, and felt like it was hard, but as soon as I started sanding on it, I gummed up my pads instantly. So I just set it off, and that's when you guys watched me do that trolling motor video. I set it off to the side, and now it's beautiful sunny Southwest Florida, and we're getting back at it. So all I used was 60 grit sanding pad for my 6-inch DA sander, and yep, what you see here, this board, now that it's nice and smooth, this is all I'm going to use for building my mold for my pulling platform top. So obviously gonna be a little more to it, but here we go. And all right, this is just a rough layout of what the mold's gonna look like, or what the mold looks like. Now I'm just gonna come in with that super poly fill again, and make all my fillets around the outside and bond these little pieces that I made in to kind of go with the shape of the pulling platform. But yep. Next. All right, you guys just see me lay up my fillets. All I did was, well, for the most part, just use that spoon and that cardboard little cutout that I made with the radius on it. Just cut it with a pair of scissors, and that was kind of a little bit bigger, and I'd use that to kind of like scrape up a lot of material, kind of slop it in place, and then I use my spoon to make my fillet. I don't know how much it is, probably a 1/2 inch radius fillet. Um, yeah, did that, and then there was some of the spots I used my finger to knock out some of the air bubbles and stuff, and add more material and into the fillet. So yeah, it looks rough, but once I sand it and everything, it'll be pretty much ready to slap up some, yeah, put some PVA down on it and lay up some glass and pop the mold, pop the platform out of the mold. So we're working on it. We're getting after it. And here it is. This is after it all kicked off. I started sanding on a little bit. I'm gonna tell you guys a little tip. All the painters and everybody who like knows about finishing work and stuff like that. The more you take care of something and you know do something proper and keep yourself from leaving a whole bunch of shit in your mold and whatnot, and like before you paint something, if you make it perfect before you lay everything up, yeah, the less work you're gonna have for yourself in the end. And this was a very sloppy job. I mean, yeah, just very sloppy. That's the best way I can describe it. But needless to say, I got a lot of cleaning up that I gotta do ahead of me. And I'm gonna bust up a little 5-inch DA sander and try to sand as much as I can, and then where I can't get in with these corners and stuff, I'll probably end up just doing it by hand. But yeah, just a little tip, just the better you take care of it, the more you get all these little nasty things off before you let it cure, the easier it's going to be for yourself to sand and clean it up and get it ready to lay a part up in. So yep. All right, I just wrapped up cleaning up this mold. I you know got her all sanded down. All the radiuses are looking really, really nice. It's as good as you know I could spend more time sanding on it and stuff and getting a little bit better, but it's gonna be great just the way it is. So I'm super happy about making this mold, and it's actually coming out pretty nice. So I'm happy with it. I am not gonna wax this mold. I'm going to use PVA, polyvinyl alcohol from FGCI. This is stuff that I always use. It's just easy to use. This is the only product that I have ever used. I never ended up using wax. Never waxed anything. I always just spraying this stuff on it, and it works great. So, and I don't spray it. It recommends on the back of the bottle that the best application for this product is to spray it, but you can also brush it. So I'm gonna brush it. I'm gonna pour it into this little container. I got my little 2-inch chop brush that I use to use for my polyester resin and stuff like that. And yeah, just get this stuff laid in this mold. I'm gonna do 2 really heavy coats. The first coat, I'm just gonna kind of let it tack off, get it nice, kind of sticky, and I'm gonna come back in and do another heavy coat of the PVA, and then let that fully cure 100%. And then I'm gonna come back in and start laying up my fiberglass. So here we go. Alright, I just laid up that PVA for you guys, the first coat. Well, that's tacking up, curing and tacking up. I'm going to start cutting my mat out. My layup's going to be obviously the first layer, because when you build a mold, the mold that I'm making, you build it from the outside in, right? Yeah, outside in. You when I pull the mold out and when on the boat, you're going to see the first initial layer of gel coat, and then after the gel coat tacks and gets semi-hard, I'm going to come in with my 2-ounce chopped strand. I'm going to lay that into my mold, and then I'm going to do 5 layers. I'm thinking 5 layers. I'm probably going to do 2 layers around the outside, the lip of the pulling platform, and then I'm thinking I'm gonna do 5 layers of 1708 for the inside where I'm gonna be standing on, because I'm not gonna core it. I put those extra support bars on the pulling platform when I welded it up. So yeah, hopefully they'll be fine with only 5 layers. If it starts cracking and doing weird stuff when I'm standing on it, obviously super easy. I can just pull it back off, sand the bottom of it, put a piece of bond a piece of coring material in, and glass over top of it, and then I'd have a cored platform. But right now I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm gonna try to do it without coring it. Kind of keep it as light as possible, being it's a small skiff, and getting that weight up high, make it a little bit tippy because it's a little bit narrow. It's only 50 inches wide. But yeah, enough rambling. I'm gonna start cutting out this fiberglass. This is the gel coat for the mold. I'm gonna tint it because I want it to match my boat a little bit. Just using just a black pigment. Just pouring a little bit into into the white gel coat. It don't take much. I don't really care how close I get it, as long as it's kind of close. So if I make it too dark, whatever. But that's obviously not gonna work. So that mixed up, and then I'm gonna add a ton more. Kind of see how much I added there. A whole bunch more. I'm not going to use all this at once because I'm going to save some of it, set it off to the side, put a lid on it, and keep it for doing the non-skid on top of the pole platform after I'm all said and done with this. This is just for the main part of the mold, the start of the mold, and yeah, once I'm done, I'll pop it out of the mold, and then we'll do a non-skid on it as well. And hopefully you guys can see that this mold's pretty green. I ended up going with 3 layers of the PVA on top of, my mold for the mold release. Super thick. I mean, it's damn near green, it's so thick. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Now I'm gonna mix in my hardener, my MEKP, into my gel coat, and use my 2-inch chop brush right here to paint it into the mold. I think I'm going to do 2 coats of gel coat. Obviously they're going to be pretty thick being brushed in, so it'll be plenty. Alright, as you guys see me just put in my first layer of gel coat. That's what it looks like. Looks pretty sweet. Freaking already got leaves falling in it, darn it. But looking good. I'm going to put another coat of gel coat in before I start using my fiberglass to make this thing structurally strong. Alright, I got the first coat down. It's pretty much all tacked up real nice. I'm going to put down my second coat of gel coat. Alright, this gel coat is 100% cured. It's only, I only laid this up maybe a couple hours ago, and yeah, so no problem. I can just lay my polyester, fiberglass and polyester resin right over top of it. I got a couple little leaves here in the gel coat, but they're gonna become one with the platform. So here we go. I'll lay up this whole mold with a 3-inch 3/8 nap roller, my little 3-inch fin roller to work out all the air bubbles. Got polyester resin. Here's my MEKP, the hardener. Have my little syringe to measure it all out. My 2-inch chop brush, and then I have all my fiberglass cut and ready to go. I got my 5 layers of the main, part of the mold where I'm gonna be standing at. Hopefully that's gonna be enough. Like I was talking to somebody the other day, if it's worse comes to worse and it's not enough, then I'll just core the darn thing. It's gonna have a lip all the way around the outside of it, so I mean it'll be easy to core. So worst comes to worst, I core it. But yep, 5 layers of the 1708, 1 layer of 2-ounce chop strand matting, and that's the same thing with the lip around the outside. The only that's different about the lip on the outside is I'm gonna go just only 2 layers for the lip around the outside of the platform. But here we go, time to start. All right, it's been like 12 or 16 hours since I laid this mold up. It's the following day, and looks great. It's cured nice, but I'm gonna let it cure a little bit longer here in the sun, just because I laid it up last night, right before dark. And yeah, I'm gonna let it cure in the sun for a little bit longer, and then I'm gonna take the sides of the mold off. All the screws that I put in, just pull them out, and then try to break the sides of the mold off, which shouldn't be any problem because I can kind of flick up the sides of the mold a little bit, and yeah, go from there. Boom, and there we have it. I let it sit for like an extra hour just to make sure it was nice and hard, and then I started busting out the sides, and it actually came up super easy. Me get in the sunlight. It's not perfect by any means, but yeah, you can see that it's got some. Those are probably the air bubbles that I left in the PVA that it's showing right there. But there's some brush marks you can see from the PVA and stuff like that. But it's good. So I'm happy with the way it came out. You're not gonna see much of this anyways because it's gonna be. I'm gonna non-skid over top all of this. But yeah, so I'm going to mark out a line around the outside, and then just trim with my angle grinder and cutoff wheel, and just make it nice and smooth, clean it up, and then after that I'm going to paint the bottom side, and yeah, get her bolted on the boat. Just got done cleaning it all up. I need to sand it a little more because right now now that I put it on the platform, you can really see that there's some dips and weird stuff going on with my edge that I trimmed, but I can sand that out. That's no big deal. But yeah, this thing freaking sweet. I already stood on it without all the supports, and you can see that oh, almost dropped it, guys. You can see that I put that support in the center. This is 1 inch by 3/16 wall tube, and then same thing with, well, the outsides are actually 1.5 inch 3/16 wall. But man, got a little bit of a gap, but that'll be sucked out when I tighten it up. But heck yeah, man, looks super sweet. I'm really happy with the way it came out. Now I decided I didn't just start it. Once I started sanding, I just kept right on sanding. I decided that I'm gonna do my non-skid on top of here, and then I'm gonna just paint it with the same paint that I used used to paint the side of my boat. Sorry, everybody. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do the non-skid now that I know that this thing is pretty sweet. I'm gonna sand it a little more, make it a little bit more sweeter, and then yeah, do my non-skid up top. Let that cure, and then paint over top of it, and should be perfect. So I'm happy with the way it's coming out. Alright, I'm about ready to make up my non-skid again. This is the leftover gel coat still from yesterday that I mixed up. It's got, it's gray. It's got a black pigment into the white gel coat and made it into this gray color. And now I'm gonna mix in a little bit of this Q-cell. This stuff's pretty gnarly, so make sure you wear a mask when you're working with it. But yeah, I'm just gonna mix a little bit in here. Doesn't take much in this process. Hopefully I got enough gel coat left over from yesterday to thicken this up good, or do enough to do the whole non-skid here on the pulling platform. But I'm gonna get this mixed up. After I get this Q-cell mixed in, Cavasil mixed in, starting to thicken up now real good. See, kind of hangs onto the stick a little bit. That's what you want. Yep, got it mixed up real good. I'm gonna add in my MEKP, my hardener, mix that in there. I wiped this down already with water really good, and then I wiped it down with acetone after that, just to make sure I get all the PVA off of it, the mold release, because you don't want to worry about your gel coat flaking off because of the PVA. But yeah, I'm gonna, gosh darn, so many damn leaves. Need to get a shop soon. But mix this in real good. I'm gonna make sure this roller doesn't have too many freaking nasty things inside of it. That's been sitting in the bottom of one of my drawers for the last year, I think. So I'm sure it has a whole bunch of nasty shit on it. Oh yeah, look at that. I'm gonna try to get most of it off the best I can. Pretty decent. Make sure there are no dang leaves on this. I'm gonna get this poured onto the platform, just like this. Put it on platform good. I sanded this with 40 grit sandpaper, but now I'm going to just kind of push this out and around. Oh yeah, I think I'm gonna have plenty to do this platform. Just get it all kind of pushed down. I didn't add any wax into this because, like I said in like a previous clip, I am going to be painting over all this gel coat, so that'll end up sealing it in the long run anyway. I'm going to get this all rolled out real good. Way too much on this side. This is freaking parts of the damn roller, I'm sure. Alright everybody, this is where I'm going to wrap up this video. I got one coat of paint on this right now. I'm going to put another coat of the Mega Gloss medium gray paint on it, and then flip it over and do 2 coats on the bottom and get this thing bolted down, and then I'm going to run my lighting right to the pulling platform. So that'll be the end of it. It's Sunday, it's like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I need to get inside and edit this video so you guys can have it for tomorrow, Monday. But yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, that was actually my first time making my own mold, and yeah, it came out pretty sweet. I'm happy with the way it came out. It looks really good. Definitely it could have took a lot more time and smoothing that mold out and trying to make it a little bit more perfect. And then definitely with that PVA, I should have just sprayed it. I had a little spray gun. Not really, like I said in another video, I'm not really set up to spray. I need to invest in a bigger air compressor so I can actually spray like a normal human being can when they're all set up for it. But yeah, so the PVA left, like with the paintbrush, once it dried, it left like brush lines in the PVA, and yeah, you could see it in the mold, because if it's in the mold, it's going to come out in your part. And yeah, lessons learned. Still learning, still new at this for the most part, learning something, you know, every single day. Every time I do, you know, work on this work on a boat, build a boat, whatever, I learn something new. So I appreciate it. Thank you guys. I reached my 1,000 subscribers. Thank you all. I think, you know, obviously couldn't be here without you guys doing that. I really appreciate it. I'm happy. We got my little thing from YouTube saying congratulations. This is crazy bananas that you reached 1,000 subscribers, and that's how I feel too. I think it's bananas that if anybody who, you know, got a lot of subscribers knows what I'm talking about. But yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you again, for y'all that are watching it and you know, haven't subscribed yet. I would appreciate it if you guys subscribed. We keep the subscriber base growing, and there'll be more videos to come. But yeah, thank y'all again. Y'all have a wonderful week.